Welcome to the Eclipse. My goodness, the energy this week has been off the show. So I thought it'd be really good to do a eclipse reading, just so we can really tap into these unresolved inner childhood wounds that just need to come up and be dealt with once and for all. And that's what this full moon is about. So let yourself feel the feelings, but it's an enormous week for those of us who are tapped into the energy. So let's see what might help you this eclipse on the full moon. What can help everybody? All right, the card is, are you honest with yourself about your life? Interesting, we had a card about denial the other day. So this card is really asking you to take an honest stocktake of you and your life and what your choices are, where you are in your life, and perhaps let go of some attachments which might not be serving you anymore. So this is a great card to look at for the eclipse, getting rid of the things from the past. Are you honest with yourself about your life? Moving through the chakras now, so we're moving into the sacral. Oops. Who do you view as an empowered woman or man? What qualities in them do you admire? Now this card particularly is about trying to look at role models in your life, people who you think you look up to, because then the goal is to then embody the qualities that you admire in them. So if you admire someone for their inner strength or their courage or their honesty, we've got honesty there, if we notice those, what do you admire in them, but also how can you then embody that empowered man, woman, so you can then be that for somebody else. Another great card. So that's a bit of goal setting there with that card. Get a goal setting around that. See how it all links back to the honesty thing. And I guess the two here, are you honest with yourself about your role as a man or a woman? Whatever you identify as, it doesn't really matter. Are you honest with yourself about who you are embodying as well? Oh, that jumped out really quickly. Have you ever bulldozed your instincts to try and make things work? Have you ever not listened to your intuition and then just tried to make it happen? And that really links in with, are you honest with yourself about your life? Have you ever not been honest when you've known something wasn't right or wasn't working out for you? Let's move to the heart chakra now. Oh, this is interesting. What expectations are placed on men by society and by ourselves? So that's really linked right in with this one here. So when we place, whether you're a man or a woman or non-gender specific, what expectations are placed by on men by society, but also what expectations do we place on them by ourselves, particularly with our fathers? What expectations did we place on them? And then did they not live up to those things? Are you honest with who your father is, or the men in your life? And then, was your father or the men in your life, were they empowered men? And if they weren't, what qualities did you admire? What were the things that you really loved about the men love about the men in your life? And what society, the pressure that society has, particularly for men. We're lucky little boys today are growing up in a very different world. So in the next generation, we're going to have some very sensitive, courageous young men, I think, because they're being parented differently than they have been previously, which is great. And a lot of parents now are really doing their inner work. So the children that they're going to be producing will be very, very different than what we've had before. So that's fantastic. But it's all, really, all of us need to do the work. We all need to do all these inner things and be reflective of what's going on with and be honest about what's going on in our lives. Throat chakra. So this seems like quite a masculine sort of spread, this one, for the eclipse. Are you ticklish? Where and do you enjoy tickling others? And I guess if you've, had a father who liked to tickle and touch you and that was the way he played, did you find your boundaries weren't respected there, and are you honest about that? If you don't like being touched, particularly if you're on the spectrum or have sensitivities, if you don't like being touched, are you honest with yourself but others about what you enjoy or what you don't enjoy? And if you do like being tickled, are you telling people about it? Are you honest about that with other people? This is quite interesting because usually I can see a really clear pattern, but it seems for me, I can't see the clear pattern here, but for you, hopefully you'll be able to see something that's really relevant to you. Write your own obituary from how you think others perceive you. We had this the other day when I did a single card one using the tarot. So write your own obituary from how you think others perceive you. And I think if you look at these two cards in combination, how are these two cards related for you? And then relate this card here again to any of the other cards that you think. And I suppose the ticklish one as well is also about fun and letting yourself have fun. And do you think that people, when they write your obituary, will they talk about you as a fun person? Or, and that's not necessarily saying ticklishing is good or bad. It's just I'm just thinking in terms of the joyfulness that comes in laughter when you're tickled. Yeah. Crown chakra. Well, we've got quite a lot there, so we'll just take these two. What are you a slave to? What are you a slave to? And I feel like many of us feel like we're slaves to our jobs. And again, are you honest with yourself about your life? How are these two related? What are you a slave to? Are you honest about that? And do you feel like you have no power? Are you not feeling empowered as a man or a woman? What do you have any agency to express your own opinions within your world? And again, the expectations of men in society, and there's slave idea as well. Some interesting questions there. And then this one, what do you understand to be God and the soul? So that one's quite a deep question, which I cannot answer that for you. But God, particularly, he's been perceived for thousands of years now to be a masculine force. God being a masculine energy. So I think I know what this is about now. This is about coming to peace with the masculine. I get it. This eclipse season is about, and I've got tingles all over, the eclipse season is about coming to some inner peace around the divine masculine and the masculine energies in your life. That's what this is about. And it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. It's the masculine energy that's not necessarily gender specific for the physical realm. Okay, let's look at intimate relationships. How do you feel about your relationship? So if you are in a relationship, how do you feel about it? And if you're not, how do you feel about the previous one? And how do you feel about the upcoming one if you're seeking a relationship of some sort? And I guess with this one, really thinking about the masculine within your relationship. So not necessarily the man, but the masculine energy, the doing energy within the relationship is what you're thinking about here. And then the final card for the eclipse It's a nice quick one, but yes, it is about the masculine. Is the secret to life is, oh, that's a fun question. We could have hours of discussion about that. The secret to life is, and I think for this particular spread, the secret is being really honest with yourself about the masculine energy, you know, maybe finding some balance. You know, this bulldozing energy is really masculine energy. The doing, the going ahead energy is really, really strong, and the God energy as well. So this the secret to life is, and the answer is yours. There's no right or wrong here. None of these cards have a right or wrong answer. It's entirely your perception about what's going on in your life right now. But I do think very much that this whole spread and what appears to be the energy that's coming up for the eclipse is the masculine energy in your world. Explore the masculine, explore the men in your life, explore your grandparents, your uncles, your brothers, fathers, co-workers, you know, explore the men in your life, but also the masculine energy. It looks like that's what we were working with this month on the full moon. So I hope that was helpful. Please do journal. Please leave a comment in below if you found one or all of these cards helpful. It's really my goal to make people, or not make people, to empower people to take charge of their own inner work, rather than always seeking answers outside themselves. So yeah, please leave a like, comment and subscribe if this has been really helpful, and share it with your friends, because I would really love to share this work with the world. We'll see you next new moon.